Welcome to the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Podcast. I'm Dr. Lisa Olson, a board-certified weight loss medicine specialist and certified life coach. In this podcast, I'll share fresh insights and effective techniques for incorporating mindset, habit change, and proven science into your life. Are you ready to achieve sustainable weight loss, wellness, and longevity? Then let's jump in and lose weight the smart way. Welcome back. My friend recently mentioned an interesting way to frame her older parents' situation, which is that they're in the fourth quarter of life. It's poignant to think of it that way, and at the same time, it sparked a little excitement in me. If my friend and I have parents in their fourth quarter of life, then we're actually in our third quarter, which got me thinking. If the average woman in the U.S. has a life expectancy of around 80 years old, then at 57, I'm actually not far from my own fourth quarter. So what do I need to create in the third quarter of life in order to be well positioned for my fourth quarter? If you want to be like my mom, who at 78 just completed a half marathon on a windy, sleeting 30-degree morning in Cary, Illinois today, you can't wait until you're 77 to take up running. You'll never get there. By the way, shout out to you, Mom. I'm so proud of you and inspired by you. Mom did a lot of things in her second and third quarters of life to land where she is in Q4. For those of you running a business of any sort, you're familiar with this kind of planning. I do quarterly planning for my Smart Weight Loss coaching business. As I'm recording today's podcast during the first quarter of 2025, we're busy updating our website to freshen it up in the second quarter. And I'm working hard to create an online men's weight loss program because it's on our agenda to launch that in the third quarter. I'm also hatching some exciting changes for this year's Women's Wellness Retreat that will happen in the fourth quarter. Did you catch that? I'm working now on things that I want to happen in the second, third, and fourth quarter of this year. If I wait until June to prep for the launch of our men's program, it definitely won't unfold the way I want to see it. I want to let people know that it's coming. I want to bring on board a highly qualified male weight loss expert to engage with our new members. I'm doing some research to understand what needs to be different about the men's program because I'm pretty sure the men's program shouldn't simply be a carbon copy of the women's program. This is what it looks like to plan things for future quarters. The planning actually started last year, and each quarter I make adjustments to make the quarterly goals more relevant. There's an end goal, and there are steps along the way to get to that end goal. Hoping that I have a fantastic men's weight loss program to launch by Q3 is not enough to get there. Let's come back to people. The average life expectancy for men in the U.S. is 74.8 years, and for women it's 80.2 years, giving us an average of 77.5 years of life. Just to make the math really easy, I'm going to use the women's life expectancy number of 80 years old. But you men need to move things along even faster if you're looking to capitalize on your fourth quarter of life. That planning starts early. Here's one specific question about weight loss for you, since I know many of you are here because you want to lose weight. Do you want to dedicate any more time this quarter to the calorie hypothesis if it hasn't helped you reach your happy, healthy weight yet? Do you want to keep focusing on counting and restricting your calories, a strategy that's done little to help any of us over the past 50 years? Or do you want to turn your focus toward creating and practicing healthy habits that will lengthen your runway and that will eventually lead to weight loss, even if that isn't the primary driver of your effort? If you do things today to set yourself up to be healthy, active, and sharp as a tack in your fourth quarter, those actions probably will help you lose some weight without obsessing over unhealthy concepts like eating less and moving more or cutting calories in order to create a calorie deficit. Before we talk about why counting calories is wildly unhelpful for most people when it comes to weight loss, let's pause for a quick word from our sponsor. Haha, just kidding. It's still me, Dr. Lisa Olson, founder of Smart Weight Loss Coaching. If you're as focused on your health as you are on the scale, you're my person. In my online program, we'll help you establish healthy habits for weight loss, better health, and longevity. For those of you who have looked at our website before, you'll be excited to see that you no longer have to commit to a 3-month program to join us. If you'd like to learn more about our affordable monthly membership, head over to smartweightlosscoaching.com. Back to the topic of calorie counting, weight loss, and doing the work in your second and third quarter of life to set yourself up for a successful fourth quarter finale. Here's what I'd like to say about dieting and calories. The research on dieting says that people who go on a diet actually tend to gain weight over time. Please shake loose that diet mentality where we restrict, we make certain categories of food forbidden, and we take on extreme approaches to weight loss that are unsustainable, swinging us back and forth on a pendulum of diet toxicity. It's time to stop the nonsense. Here's what the science tells us about calories that might surprise you. Let's say I eat 2 foods that contain exactly the same calorie count per cup. If one is ultra-processed, it will cause weight gain out of proportion to the calorie count. Ultra-processed foods also drive cravings for more hyper-palatable ultra-processed foods. Why is that? It's because ultra-processed foods make us hungrier. If we want to be healthy in the fourth quarter of life, let's stop our fruitless focus on calorie counting and instead focus on using food as medicine to help us achieve better metabolic health, better mental health, better cognitive health, and longevity. We know that people who live longer, healthier, eat a lot of beans, lentils, spinach, blueberries, nuts, extra virgin olive oil, and whole grains. They get enough protein, either from plants or modest amounts of animal protein that's not laden with chemicals like growth hormones or antibiotics. There's no magical calorie count associated with healthy aging, just as there's no magical calorie count associated with weight loss. What you eat, meaning the quality of your food, matters far more than the calories. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that calories never matter at all. I'm just saying that calories are a small piece of the puzzle when it comes to managing our weight, promoting better health, and living longer with a higher degree of physical and cognitive function. I have prediabetes, so if I don't want to have full-blown diabetes in my fourth quarter, I'm not going to just sit still with my fingers crossed, hoping my labs don't get worse. No way, no thank you. I'm going to fight hard for my health in my third quarter, and I hope you do too. The things I'm focused on will help my blood sugar, and they'll also help me maintain my healthy weight. As you can imagine, there are hundreds of things we could do to improve our health, our weight, and our longevity. We don't have to start with the hardest things, and we don't have to do all the things at once. But come on, let's do some things now and keep planning and taking action so that each quarter we sow some new seeds and we harvest the fruits of our labor from prior quarterly actions. Here are 5 things I'm working on right now to make my fourth quarter amazing. Again, this is not just Q4 of 2025, but the fourth quarter of my life. I hope that you'll make your own list and that you'll add to it throughout the year. Number 1, more plant protein. I'm learning to make and eat a lot of vegan and vegetarian foods that have ample, high-quality protein. It's definitely not necessary to be 100% plant-based to be healthy. The research doesn't say that. But I do know that eating more plants is good for us, especially nutrient-dense plants. And I know that with a little planning and attention, it's possible to get plenty of protein from a plant-based or plant-forward diet. So I'm working on that now in order to be healthier in Q4. Number 2, I'm shifting my exercise focus to be highly practical and functional. I'm thinking about what I want to be able to do in my fourth quarter, and I'm structuring my exercise routine accordingly. You might remember that last year my daughter and I were driving home at night, and in our neighborhood we saw an older woman lying in the street. Was it lying or sitting in the street? It doesn't matter now. I think she was probably lying down. We pulled over, ran to her and her neighbor who was with her, and determined that what she actually needed was not an ambulance, but rather help getting out of the street and standing back up. She had slipped or tripped on something and fell, but she wasn't hurt at all. She hadn't hit her head. She simply couldn't get up. She couldn't stand up from her position on the ground. I don't want to be like that. I want to be able to get up from lying on the ground, to sitting, to standing, should I ever unexpectedly trip and fall, as she did. But also, I want to be able to help someone who has fallen. My daughter and I worked together and had no problem lifting this woman up, but I want to make sure that I can do that if I'm all by myself. That's where my desire for more functional exercise comes in. I'm doing weight training, and over the past couple of years, I've been doing more progressive weight training. I used to use the same 5-pound hand weights for years, never varying the amount I lifted or pushing myself harder. That's changing for me in my third quarter. I'm challenging myself to lift more and to lift heavier things in different ways. This is how I'll continue to lift my suitcase into the overhead bin of an airplane, even though I'm only 5'2". This is how I'll be able to pick up a heavy box or keep opening jars and packages without asking for help. Working on balance, flexibility, and mobility might involve getting down on the floor and getting back up again over and over, squatting down, balancing on one foot, and so on. That's one reason why I'm doing more dancing and yoga. Number 3, dialing up my attention to sleep. Why? Because chronically poor sleep increases the likelihood of developing dementia, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and has even been linked to cancers of the breast, colon, ovaries, and prostate. If you're sleep deficient, you may have trouble making decisions, solving problems, controlling your emotions and behavior, and coping with change. For those of you working on weight loss as part of your health journey, note that we make our worst food decisions when we're sleep deprived. Number 4. I'm also putting in more effort with my social circles. People who fill my bucket are prioritized, and I'm trying to gently let go of those connections that feel more like an obligation. Life's too short, so it's time to plant some seeds and also do a little pruning as well as some watering. I'm closing up my computer and putting my phone down more often, not just when someone approaches me to talk, but in order that they will approach me. If it's 8 p.m. and my eyes are glued to my phone, my husband and kids are unlikely to seek me out to connect. No phones at the table, but also minimal use of phones in shared spaces when I'm open and available for communicating and connecting. And lastly, number 5, I'm learning new things. I'm reading fiction and nonfiction. I'm about to take mahjong classes. I do puzzles and sudokus and wordles and connections and play board games. I'm learning to shuffle dance, and I'm working to improve my tango dancing. And I hope to learn all sorts of new things before my third quarter ends to keep my brain sharp in my fourth quarter. Okay, friends, it's time for you to decide your NBA, your next best action for today. As you think about what you'd like to do to set yourself up for success in your fourth quarter, you might want to give yourself the gift of letting go of that regrettable calorie hypothesis. Stop counting calories if it's not been a helpful strategy for weight loss. Just focus on healthy eating. Or maybe for your MBA, you'd like to make your own list of 5 things you'll focus on right now to set yourself up for success when you reach Q4. By the way, are you already in your fourth quarter? If so, shout out to you for listening. You're already doing something pretty cool. Most people in their fourth quarter are not listening to podcasts. So congratulate yourself for even finding this podcast and for engaging and embracing technology in a way that not everyone does in Q4. It's never too late to make healthy decisions, so pick one thing, just one small next best action that you're going to do today to improve your health. Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like more support during your smart weight loss journey, check out our group coaching program at smartweightlosscoaching.com. Until next time, stay well and stay smart.